Hello, crafty friends. Today we're doing something a little bit ridiculous, but also extremely satisfying. I'm going to be mass stamping 200 images onto cardstock to make my own DIY stamped ephemera for crafting, journals, junk journals, embellishments, planner decorations, and snail mail fun. So basically, I'm building a huge stash of stamped images so that the next time I sit down to make something, all the hard work is already done. And honestly, mass stamping like this is one of my favorite ways to relax while crafting. And I'll also be giving away a 10 size envelope with these images, so stay tuned for details. Before we get started, I have a confession to make, and hopefully nobody gets upset at me. I don't want to lose any crafty friends over this. So when I was packing to move back from the UK to the US, I needed to consolidate and only bring back essentials, especially craft supplies. I ended up giving away so much. Because of shipping costs, I only kept the things that I absolutely loved for everything. So this meant any images on a stamp set that I didn't like or was iffy about got cut out and given away. This is why you're going to see stamps that look like they've been cut from a larger set, in case you're confused as to why my stamps look so weird. But honestly, I felt so guilty about doing that. But they did go like to a good home. But have you ever done that before where you just have to make that decision with your craft supplies? Like, no, like, yeah. Hopefully we're still friends, and I hope that all made sense. Okay, let's stamp a ridiculous number of images together, shall we? Starting out with this classic beauty. This was a wood block stamp, and I cut out only the teacup part because I wasn't a fan of the font. And this was my first stamp surgery, where I took an X-Acto knife and cut out the bits I didn't like, and I have no regrets. And stamp surgery is something that I highly recommend, because if you've ever been to the thrift store and seen they always have like a ton of wood block stamps at the thrift store, and they're cute, but also sometimes the font's not stylish, or you could cut away other elements and it'd be like a perfectly good stamp. Of course, you could always make a mask and keep the stamp intact, but stamp surgery is kind of fun. Highly recommend it. Something you'll notice when I'm stamping is that I try to fill the entire sheet of paper. So instead of leaving lots of blank space, I try to place the stamps close together, and I'll start at the very edge of my paper. This is the way that I get the maximum number of stamped elements from every sheet of cardstock, and it's a great way to stretch your craft supplies further. And while we may not be saving any trees, we at least are making good use and maximizing our use of said trees. Today I'm stamping on two types of paper. First is solid colored cardstock, mainly white. Actually, I'm using like the backside of pattern paper. Any white cardstock that you see, the other side is like a pattern that I don't like anymore. But yeah, white is perfect if you want to color your stamped images afterwards with markers, watercolor, or colored pencils. White also makes the stamp designs look really crisp and clean, and I love that look. I'm also stamping on pattern cardstock, which I love for junk journaling and collage style crafting. And when you stamp on pattern paper, the design underneath adds texture and visual interest to the stamped image. Sometimes the pattern paper makes the stamp look totally different, which you're going to see, and it's a really fun way to create unique handmade embellishments. For my ink, I'm using my Nuvo Hybrid Ink, which is one of my favorites. And hybrid means it can handle alcohol markers or watercolors and not smudge and ruin your stamped image. And it gives you the freedom to create anything after your mass stamping session, which is pretty great. I would love to know what your favorite stamp ink is. I think for me, the Nuvo, I really love Nuvo, but I also really love the VersaFine inks. They are so crisp and juicy and amazing. Through my crafty jobs at Sizzix and practical publishing / craft stash, I had access to a ton of free stamps and dies. I rarely bought anything, and when I did, it was because I really loved it, and this was one I had to get. It's Altenew Beautiful Day stamp set. I've linked it in the video description. It's timeless, I love it! I'm not even using this stamp set to its full potential, where you like use different colored stampings to create almost a paint-like effect. It's really cool, highly recommend. Also, check out my magical stamp technique where I telepathically stamp my paper. I wish it was this easy. That would be like the best thing ever. To clean my stamps, I'm using my microfiber cloth. It works really well and is a great alternative to using baby wipes. Ideally, you'd want to pair this with a good liquid stamp cleaner, but I'm very happy with my microfiber cloth. It's filthy, but like it doesn't stain anything. I love it. Now look at this Hello Sentiment stamp. It's perfect. I love it, and it's great for smaller scraps. You could do a light watercolor wash over this and use it like washi in your journals. Plus you use up your scraps. And I definitely believe in no scrap left behind. I should honestly make t-shirts. That would be so funny. But yeah, using my scraps makes me feel like a responsible adult and a more sustainable crafter. I switched stamp blocks because my fingers were getting inky and the ink was getting on the paper, my little tiny fingerprint corners. But yeah, those tiny extra thin stamp blocks are adorable, but they work best if you have a tiny stamp pad to go with it, just so your fingers don't get inky. This next stamp set is from Paula Pascual, who I had the pleasure of working with at Craft Stash. She was a delightful person and she was a product whiz crafty engineer. She had a very analytical approach to her dies and stamps that she designed. She really thought everything through and made sure you would have maximal options and crafting experience. I wish I had worked with her longer because she had inspiring vibes. Like just being around her made you feel more creative. There's still some space on this blue cardstock for some tiny stamps, so I'm gonna try to squeeze in this mini butterfly here and there. This is gonna be tricky to fussy cut, but one of my favorite things is mask making during a movie. So stamping or fussy cutting or mass die cutting during a movie that I've seen a million times is like my perfect way to spend a weekend afternoon. One of the things I want to get more into is batch creating embellishments. So instead of stamping one image at a time while working on a project, I want to do more big stamping sessions where I make dozens, or in this case, even hundreds of stamped images all at once. And this is going to be especially helpful for my junk journaling, for making happy mail quickly, for decorating my traveler's notebooks, because these projects usually need lots of little like embellishments and stamps. So when I mass stamp like this, when you do something like this, you're basically building a craft stash of ready to use paper ephemera, and future you will always be so grateful that you took the time to do it. If you make junk journals, stamped ephemera is incredibly useful because you can use these stamped pieces for things like collage clusters or tuck spots or journaling cards or layered embellishments. So stamped elements add a really nice handmade feel to junk journal pages, and they're easy to mix with like vintage papers and book pages and other collage materials. Now that I think of it, I should have been stamping on sticker paper, but I don't think I have any, so I'm gonna have to go get some. But man, stamp stickers from my planner of this vintage gentleman, like yes, please, that would be so cute in my planner. There's something really relaxing about repetitive crafting, and mass stamping is almost like a craft meditation session. You just ink up the stamp and press it onto the paper and repeat over and over. And it's a kind of craft that you can do while listening to a podcast or binge watching your favorite show or chatting with friends on the phone, and before you know it, you have pages and pages of stamped images ready to turn into embellishments. These little rain boots are the best. I love this stamp, especially on patterned paper. It has serious spring vibes, and the polka dot background makes it so whimsical. Like, I honestly need to check Amazon to see if they sell polka dotted rain boots like this because I need them. I'm back. I just checked and they only have them in black polka dots, but I did see some really cute rain boots. Like, who knew rain boots were so cute nowadays? I have these like boring black ones, and they're actually like men's ones that like didn't fit Justin. So yeah, that's so funny. I'm really tempted by these rain boots. Which stamp is your favorite so far? Actually, hold that thought, but let's talk about the giveaway. But still think about your favorites. So to enter the giveaway, you have to be a subscriber and leave a comment mentioning 3 of your favorite stamped images that you'd like to win from this mass stamping session. So your comment will say something like, I'd love to win some of the rain boot stamp, or some of the Altenew stamps, or this runway model. If you're a winner, I'm gonna try my hardest to send you the stamped images that you want as your prize, and some extras, of course. So this giveaway is open internationally, and it will be a 10 size envelope of stamped images. They're gonna be uncut though, because I love giving racks, but I'm also lazy as heck sometimes. The winner will be announced 2 weeks from publish date, and it is open internationally, so good luck! This is another stamp set that I love. As you can see, I kept it intact. The fashion girlies are some of my favorites. They look amazing tucked into a traveler's notebook, like into the pockets or like planner pockets. Also, they look great in a pen pal loaded envelope, which is an upcoming video coming soon. And now for the mother of all stamps. This might be my favorite stamp of all time, and it's so simple. It's a coffee cup stamp, and it has a corresponding coffee sleeve, which I love to stamp from patterned paper. You're gonna see this little guy a million times over, so sorry, not sorry. It's so great when it's Christmas time and I have these stamped on Christmas pattern paper or fall themed pattern cardstock during autumn. It just gives all the festive vibes and it puts me in the happiest mood. I don't know why. Something so simple could bring me so much joy. It's kind of crazy. In a bit, I'm gonna fussy cut these, which reminds me, I need to buy some precision scissors for fussy cutting. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. I really need some. Okay, so yeah, back to the video. So I'm gonna cut some of these out and show you how I do some simple layering for a journal page or even a handmade card. Just the options are endless once you have all of these cut out. It's amazing how easily embellishments or collage clusters come together. Another favorite set is this ticket set. It's perfect. These are fantastic because you can create repeated ticket strips, which make for some adorable junk journal embellishments, and also goodies for your pen pal. And they're pretty easy to line up, even if you don't have a stamping platform. I think they're really easy to line up and like stamp repeatedly. Now it's time to put these bad boys to use, and I'm gonna take it easy and do the fussy cutting for these in batches because 200 is a lot. Actually, some of these are going towards you for the winner, so it might be more like 150. But anyway, the last time I did a stamped mask making session like this, I developed a bone burr, which like on my hand, and it didn't go away for a year, and I don't want that to happen again because it was not comfortable. This stamp is also a favorite. I know it doesn't look like much, but once it's fussy cut, I love the sprigginess of it. I don't know if that's a word, but it's a perfect collage layer. And this is why stamp mask making sessions are great. They show you the creative options you have for your stamps. Actually, one of the creative processes of working on the in-house Sizzix design team was to first die cut your dies that you were going to be working with, and doing it repeatedly was encouraged because it opens up your brain. It opened up your brain to the possibilities of what you could make with it. And mask making is the same. It really gets your creative juices going. How cute are those ticket strips? Oh my gosh. Anyway, friends, that's it. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and good luck on the giveaway. Bye!